Welcome back to the deep dive. I want everyone to close their eyes for a second.
Okay.
Unless you're driving, please do not close your eyes if you're driving. But for everyone else, I want you to visualize a scenario with me.
I'm ready.
It is a Tuesday. It is January in Chicago.
Oof. Bleak?
Which, if you know, it is gray, it is biting, it is just miserable. You are unemployed. You are staring at a bank account that is looking less like a safety net and more like, I don't know, a gentle suggestion.
Polite hint. Yeah.
And you have a job interview. It's a Zoom call. And you are, of course, wearing the uniform.
The business on top, pajama bottoms on the bottom.
The classic.
Yeah.
You are stressed. You take a deep breath. You click the link.
I can already feel my heart rate elevating. This is a universal anxiety dream you're describing.
Oh, it gets so much worse. You click the link and you aren't in a one-on-one interview waiting room.
Oh, no.
No, you are dropped directly into a boardroom, a digital boardroom.
Like a full meeting in progress.
A full meeting. There are all these faces on the screen you do not recognize, and they are in the middle of a presentation.
Okay.
And the presentation is bad.
How bad are we talking?
We are talking Michael Scott trying to explain the surplus. Bad.
Wow.
We are talking buzzwords that don't mean anything. We're talking synergize our deliverables kind of nonsense.
The absolute worst.
And the visuals, I mean, they look like they were made in MS Paint by a tired toddler.
The horror. The absolute horror.
So right now you have a choice. Option A. You quietly, discreetly click Leave Meeting. You throw your laptop out the window and you move to a new city under an assumed name.
A very tempting option.
Or Option B. You unmute yourself and you tell the CEO of this company exactly why his presentation is garbage.
Please tell me we are talking about option B today.
We are absolutely talking about Option B. Today, we are diving into a story that takes that exact nightmare scenario and turns it into one of the most satisfying, witty, and surprisingly deep romantic comedies I have read in a very long time.
It's a fantastic one.
We are looking at the novella Accidentally Yours by the absolute legends of the genre, Christina Lauren.
And just for a little context, this story is part of a larger anthology collection, which is called The Improbable Meet Cute, Second Chances.
Right.
But what makes this one stand out, and I think why we pick it for this deep dive, is that it isn't just a romance. It's a really sharp critique of modern corporate culture, of digital identity, and the specific trauma of toxic workplaces.
It's doing so much work for a novella. It really is.
It's packing a lot in.
And it's funny. Like, laugh out loud, startle the cat funny.
Oh, absolutely. And it manages to be funny while also being a prime example of something we like to call competence porn.
Competence porn. Okay, let's unpack that term right off the bat because it sounds a little suggestive.
It does.
But it's actually very, very wholesome.
It is. It's a term often used in media analysis to describe the specific satisfaction the audience gets from watching characters who are just incredibly good at what they do.
Right, like an expert at work.
Exactly. Think of The Martian, right, where he just sciences the heck out of growing potatoes on Mars.
Yes.
Or The West Wing, where they walk and talk really fast about complex policy. It's this idea that intelligence and capability are, in themselves, the ultimate aphrodisiacs.
I have to say, the older I get, the more that is my love language.
Mine too.
Talk data to me.
Exactly. And Accidentally Yours, the romance isn't driven by, oh, he has nice abs or she has beautiful eyes. I mean, that's there too.
Sure, it's a romance.
But the real driving force is, oh my God, look at how efficient your spreadsheet is. It's that level of appreciation for skill.
Which is so refreshing. So, okay, let's set the scene properly. We mentioned Chicago in January.
The frozen tundra, yes.
The story takes place in 2026. And the setting is incredibly contained. It's almost like a bottle episode of a TV show.
That's a great way to put it. We're really oscillating between two very specific realms.
Okay.
So first you have the digital realm. That's Zoom, email, Slack, text messages. This is where the whole intellectual connection gets built.
The life online.
And then you have the physical realm, which is almost entirely limited to a single apartment building called Grand Fir Estates.
I love when stories do this. It's a classic setup. It forces the characters together. There's no escaping to a coffee shop across town because it's 10 below zero.
Right.
You are stuck in the elevator. You are stuck in the lobby. You have to interact.
It creates a pressure cooker. And it allows the authors to explore this real duality of modern life.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our online personas, right? Who we are in an email, who we are when we have like 10 minutes to edit a witty response.
Oh, absolutely. My email self is far more eloquent than my real self.
And then you have our physical reality. who we are when we're taking out the trash in sweatpants with greasy hair. And the friction between those two selves, that's the engine of this entire plot.
So let's meet the person living right in the middle of that friction. Our protagonist, Veronica Cochran.
Veronica is such a vivid character. She's an MBA, a marketing professional, but when we meet her, she is. She is not in her girl boss era.
Not at all.
She is deep in her burnout era.
So deep. She is cynical, she is tired, and she has just been laid off from a firm with the most incredible name.
Oh, it's perfect.
Pitch Slap.
Pitch slapped.
Can we just pause on that name for a second?
We have to. It is the most aggressive frat bro marketing agency name I have ever heard in my life.
Right. It sounds like a place where they have a gong they hit every time they close a deal.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And probably a beer keg that's always tacked by like 10 a.m.
Yes. And the text really backs this up. Veronica didn't just lose a job. She escaped a toxic ecosystem.
A truly toxic one. She describes this culture of just rampant misogyny. She talks about cocaine at company retreats. It's all just Wolf of Wall Street cosplay.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the one detail that really, really stuck with me, and I think it's the detail that tells you everything you need to know about why Veronica is so angry, is the game room.
Oh, the game room. Yes.
Every cool startup has to have one, right? It's mandatory fun.
It's part of the uniform.
But at Pitch Slapped, they had a pinball machine. And do you remember the name of this pinball machine?
I do. I wrote it down in my notes because I couldn't believe it. The pinball machine was called Whoa Nelly, Big Juicy Melons.
Whoa, Nelly, Big Juicy Melons.
In a professional workplace.
Just picture that. You are a professional woman, you have an MBA, you're trying to present a complex marketing strategy, and in the background, there is this machine just blinking big, juicy melons at you.
It's so unbelievably demeaning. It sets the tone perfectly. It explains why Veronica has this massive, massive chip on her shoulder.
And she says it herself. She was the spark behind the scenes. She did all the work. She had the brilliant ideas.
But the guys, the bros, they got the credit, and more importantly, they got the bonuses.
She was just used up and discarded, and now she's waiting on a severance check that isn't arriving.
Of course not.
She's broke. She's living in apartment 4C, and her apartment itself feels like it's rebelling against her.
The broken appliances as a metaphor for her life. It's a classic for a reason.
Her refrigerator is dead, her laptop is hanging on by a single thread, and her office chair. We need to talk about the chair.
The chair is practically a supporting character in this novella.
It really is. She describes her current chair as this broken, sad thing that makes a concerning crack every time she so much as shifts her weight.
It leans to one side.
It leans. She says she has to engage her core muscles just to stay upright while she's applying for jobs.
And this feeds into this very specific fear she has. She calls it becoming a Gen Z goblin.
Yes. The shrimp posture, the couch goblin.
She's terrified that if she doesn't get a job, or at least a functional chair, she's going to devolve into this creature just living on the couch, surrounded by crumbs, permanently shaped like a question mark.
It is so relatable, though. I think especially for anyone who works from home, you realize how much of your dignity is tied to basic ergonomics.
It really is. And that constant physical discomfort, it just fuels her desperation. She needs a win. She needs money.
Yeah.
But I think more than that, she needs to feel like a capable professional again.
Enter the potential savior, or at the very beginning, the target of her rage. Let's talk about Jude Tilde.
Jude. He is the occupant of apartment 2C, so he is directly 2 floors below Veronica.
He's the neighbor.
He is the neighbor. But in the professional world, he is the CEO of Codify, a tech company that builds custom apps. Now, usually when you hear tech CEO in a romance novel, you picture a certain archetype.
Oh, yeah. The shark, the guy in the expensive suit who lives for the deal.
The guy who interrupts you constantly.
Yes.
Right. Jude is. He is not that guy. Jude is, well, he's a nerd. And I mean that in the most complimentary way possible.
He absolutely is. He's an engineer. He's a coder at heart.
And he didn't even want to be CEO. This is a really crucial part of his backstory. He only took the job because his brother, Jason, was the original CEO.
Right.
And Jason was in a terrible car accident and suffered a traumatic brain injury, a TBI.
Which adds this really heavy, grounded reality to Jude's character. He isn't stressed because he wants a third vacation home in the Hamptons. He's stressed because he is trying to keep his brother's dream, his brother's legacy, alive while his brother is in recovery.
It raises the stakes for him significantly. He feels like a total imposter. He sees it himself. He is learning on the fly.
He's anxious.
So anxious. He has this habit of going out onto his little balcony just to breathe because he feels like he's suffocating under the pressure of it all.
And Veronica, from her balcony up in 4C, she sees him. But she doesn't know he's a CEO. She doesn't know his name is Jude. To her, he is just the hot neighbor.
And she has nicknames for him.
She does. She calls him Friday.
Because seeing him is the highlight of her week. Which is both sweet and a little sad.
Is. And her sister Clara, who is hilarious, by the way. Just a great side character. Clara calls him Lava Lamp.
Because he is hot and mesmerizing.
Which is such a great specific description. It implies he's just pleasant to look at, not aggressive or intimidating, just a nice glowing presence.
The calming heat. So we have the setup. Veronica in 4C, bitter, broke, and brilliant. Jude in 2C, stressed, overwhelmed, and fundamentally decent.
They are physically so close, but their worlds haven't actually collided yet?
Not yet.
Until the inciting incident, the Zoom bomb. Let's walk through this beat by beat because it is the pivot point for the entire story.
Okay, so it's January 14, 2026. Veronica is prepped and ready for an interview with a company called BioLite.
And because she is the queen of competence, even in her burnout era, she has done her homework.
Of course she has.
She knows they use bioluminescence and biochemical assays. She is ready to talk science and marketing and strategy.
She clicks the link in her calendar, but, and I feel like we have all done this, she clicks the wrong link. Maybe it was an old invite, maybe a copy-paste error. We don't know. But she bypasses BioLite and lands smack in the middle of a Codify strategy meeting.
But she doesn't know it yet. She enters with her camera off and her mic muted. Her little screen name is just VC.
Which is perfect ambiguity. Could be venture capitalist. Could be very cool. In this case, it's Veronica Cochran.
She's lurking, and she starts watching the presentation. And this is where that pitch-slapped trauma meets her naturally high standards. She sees the slide deck, and she just loses it. Internally at first.
She describes the slides as a collection of empowering synergies and those awful stock photos of diverse teams high-fiving in a brightly lit office.
Empowering synergies. It means absolutely nothing.
It means less than nothing.
Yes.
It is anti-meaning. It's corporate white noise.
And usually if you realized you were in the wrong meeting, you would just quietly exit. You'd ghost. But Veronica is so offended by the sheer incompetence on display, she can't help herself. She unmutes.
And she delivers the roast of the century. I actually have the quote here, and I need to read it because it is just, it burns.
Please do.
She says, "I'm sorry, but this presentation is 4 buzzwords in a trench coat pretending to be a thought."
4 buzzwords in a trench coat. I want that on a T-shirt. I want it on a mug. It's perfect.
It's incredible. And she doesn't stop there. She follows it up by calling it fluff stapled to hope.
Fluff stapled to hope.
She tells them, flat out, whoever made this either hates marketing or has never sold a damn thing in their life. And then, maybe realizing what she's just done, or maybe just satisfied with the destruction she's caused, she disconnects.
Mic drop.
Absolute scorched earth. She just burns the whole place down on her way out the door.
Now, let's pause and look at Jude's reaction to this, because this is the moment that really defines that competence porn trope we were talking about.
Yes.
In a toxic workplace, like pitch slapped, if someone did that, the CEO would be screaming for their head. They would be hunting down her IP address to sue her into oblivion.
Right. The ego would take over. How dare you speak to me like that in front of my team?
Exactly. But Jude isn't an ego guy. Jude is an engineer. He cares about the data. He cares about the truth. And he knows deep down that the presentation was garbage.
It was his biggest insecurity, and she just confirmed it for him.
So instead of getting angry, he gets curious.
He turns to his colleague and asks, "Did you catch the username?" He calls her feedback brutal, but brilliant.
He is entranced. He's not attracted to her looks. He hasn't even seen her. He is attracted to her brain.
Yes.
He's attracted to the fact that she was the only person brave enough, or maybe just chaotic enough, to say, the emperor has no clothes.
That is the ultimate fantasy, isn't it? The idea that if you're just smart enough and honest enough, the right people will value you for it, rather than punishing you for speaking up.
So he does what any sensible, intrigued CEO would do. He tracks her down, he finds her email address from the meeting logs, and he reaches out.
And this begins the phase of the story I like to call the negotiation. And if you thought the roast was funny, the negotiation is where the chemistry really, really starts to bubble.
Because Veronica's first assumption is that he's a jerk. She assumes Codify is just another pitch slapped. She assumes he wants to yell at her or maybe trick her into giving him free consulting work.
She's got her guard up.
Way up. So when he emails her and offers her a consulting gig to fix the very mess she just criticized, she replies with 2 words,
Oh, thanks.
with the exclamation point, just full stop.
She is protecting her peace. She is not engaging with another potential tech bro.
But Jude is persistent, and he does something crucial. He apologizes, he validates her critique, he says, "You're right, we are a mess, we need help."
And that kind of disarms her. But she's still skeptical.
Yeah.
So she goes out for drinks with her friends, Clara and Jordan.
The Greek chorus of the novella, they're essential.
They really are. They're drinking gin and tonics. Veronica's ranting about this obnoxious tech bro in her inbox. And her friends propose a strategy, the FU price.
It's a classic freelancer tactic, right? If you don't really want the job, you quote a price so ridiculously high that they'll have to say no.
And if by some miracle they say yes, well, then you're rich, so who cares?
Exactly. So Veronica, emboldened by gin, drafts her list of demands. She asks for a $10,000 monthly retainer,
Which is huge.
a life-changing amount of money for her at this point. She asks for a brand new top-of-the-line laptop, and she asks for a chair.
A very specific chair.
So why do you think she digs her heels in on the chair? It seems like such a petty detail in the grand scheme of a $10,000 contract.
I think it goes back to that Gen Z goblin fear we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's deeper than that. It's about dignity. She spent 4 years at Pitch Slapped, being fundamentally uncomfortable, both psychologically and physically. The broken chair in her apartment is a physical manifestation of her current broken state.
It's a symbol.
It's a huge symbol. By demanding a high-end, ergonomic chair, she is setting a physical boundary. She is saying, I will not break my body for your profits ever again.
It's an assertion of self-worth. It's her saying, my back matters, my comfort matters, I matter.
Exactly. And Jude's response to this is just perfect.
Correct.
He negotiates the retainer down to a still very generous $7,000 a month.
Which she is thrilled with.
But he agrees to the laptop.
Yeah.
And he agrees to the chair. No questions asked.
He buys the chair.
He buys her the chair. And Veronica sends this hilarious follow-up email explaining in great detail why she needed it. She describes the natural cause as death of her old chair. She makes a joke about her posture.
And this is the moment the dynamic totally shifts. It stops being transactional boss-employee.
And it starts being flirty banter.
This kicks off the whole double life section of the story because now they were working together every single day.
But only digitally.
Only digitally. She is just an email address to him. He is just a name in her inbox. But she's brilliant. She renames his product. The app was originally called something completely generic and forgettable.
Yeah, it was bad.
And she rebrands it to Pixel Perfect.
Which is a fantastic name, by the way. It's clean, it's memorable.
It is. She revitalizes their entire marketing strategy. She proves she is worth every single penny of that $7,000 retainer. And Jude is just loving it. He's seeing his company turn around in real time because of her.
And while they're working, they start sharing these little personal details. They start a thread bonding over their biggest pet peeves.
I love this trope. I feel like bonding over what you hate is so much more intimate than bonding over what you like.
It is. It requires more trust, more vulnerability. So Veronica admits she hates planned obsolescence. She hates that phone cables break after 6 months. She goes on this whole rant about the inherent wastefulness of capitalism.
Which is a pretty bold thing to say to your capitalist CEO boss.
Very bold.
Yeah.
But Jude matches her energy completely. He reveals his biggest pet peeve is flat earthers.
And he doesn't just say, oh, I think they're silly.
No. This is where the true nerd in him comes roaring out. He writes her a full-on dissertation, a multi-paragraph email.
He does.
He talks about horizon lines. He talks about why planes have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth. He talks about gravity and Foucault's pendulum. It's a physics lesson.
And Veronica is reading this email in her apartment, probably drinking wine on her new, very comfortable chair, and she is swooning.
Totally swooning.
Not because he's rich or powerful, but because he is passionate about facts and can explain them clearly.
It's the intellectual connection solidifying. She is falling for his mind.
But meanwhile, downstairs.
Downstairs, in the physical world, the irony is just piling up layer by layer.
They are running into each other in the lobby, in the elevator, and they still don't know who the other person is.
To Veronica, he is still just Friday, the hot neighbor. To Jude, she is just the cute woman from 4C who wears big coats and seems kind of stressed.
And there is this one scene that just captures the dramatic irony perfectly. The delivery of the chair.
The chair, the inciting chair.
The chair arrives at Grandfur Estates, and it's in a massive, unwieldy box. Veronica and her sister Claire are trying to wrestle this thing into the elevator. They can't do it. It's too heavy. It's too awkward.
And who steps in to save the day?
Of course. It's Jude. It's Friday.
He sees them struggling. He steps up like a good neighbor. He lifts the box.
The box containing the very chair that he paid for.
And he has absolutely no idea.
Not a clue. He's just being a nice guy, helping a neighbor. He helps them load it into the freight elevator. He's charming. He's helpful. And Veronica's looking at him thinking, wow, he's strong. He's nice. Why can't my actual boss be more like this guy?
And Jude is looking at her thinking, she's funny, she's cute, I wonder who she is.
It is agonizing for the reader, but in the absolute best way. You just want to scream at the book. Just introduce yourselves. Say your names.
But there's another neighbor element we have to mention, another point of connection. Larry.
Larry the mailman. God bless Larry.
Larry is the unsung hero of Grandfur Estates.
He is. He is consistency personified. He is reliable. You can set your watch by Larry's delivery.
And in a world that feels so chaotic for both Veronica and Jude, they both really value that consistency. They have a shared appreciation for Larry.
But then, tragedy strikes. Larry is replaced by a substitute.
The agent of chaos enters the building.
This substitute carrier, she's snapping her gum. She's just shoving mail into the wrong boxes without even looking. She just doesn't care.
And Veronica and Jude bond over this too, but silently. They shared this look of mutual horror in the lobby one day.
And it shows they share the same values.
Right.
They value doing a job well. They value attention to detail. They value Larry.
But this chaotic mail carrier, she is the plot device that finally brings the whole beautiful, precarious house of cards down.
The complication arrives.
It arrives via the U.S. Postal Service.
Veronica goes to her mailbox. She pulls out her stack of mail. And there, mixed in with her bills and junk mail, is a letter.
It's not for her.
No. It is addressed to Jude Tilde, apartment 2C.
And in that moment, the world just stops spinning.
She stares at the name, Jude Tilde, the CEO of Codify, the guy sending her $7,000 checks, the guy who wrote her an essay about the curvature of the earth.
And she realizes Friday is Jude. Her hot neighbor is her boss.
Her brain just breaks a little bit. I mean, how could it not?
It has to. Because now she has to reconcile these two completely separate images she has of this one man. The lava lamp she lusts after in the elevator, and the tech CEO she respects and banters with in her inbox.
They're the same person.
They're the same person.
Now, a normal, rational person in this situation might run downstairs, knock on door 2C, and say, oh my God, you're Jude, I'm Veronica, this is hilarious, let's laugh about this.
But this is a romantic comedy, and Veronica listens to her friends.
And her friends give her objectively terrible advice.
They tell her to lean into the drama. They get so excited. They tell her it's exactly like a movie. They have a date scheduled, a virtual turned real date for Valentine's Day.
Right.
And her friends say, don't tell him yet. Surprise him on the date. It'll be the most romantic rom-com reveal ever.
So she keeps the secret. She holds on to this peak of information, thinking it'll be this grand, funny gesture. But secrets are dangerous.
Especially when you have other neighbors in the mix, like Sammy.
Ugh, Sammy.
Yeah.
Also known by the nickname Catalogs.
Because she gets so much junk mail. Sammy lives in 2A, right next to Jude, and she has made it very, very clear that she is interested in him.
She is on the prowl. Constantly.
Yeah. So picture this. Veronica's in the lobby. She's checking her mail again, very carefully this time. And she sees Jude coming in the front door. He's just gotten back from a business trip to Oregon. He looks tired.
And Sammy intercepts him like a heat-seeking missile.
She corners him by the mailboxes. She asks out for a drink. She is being very, very forward.
And Jude, and this is a total green flag for him, is a gentleman about it. He doesn't want to lead her on or be rude, so he tells a lie. Or maybe a half-truth.
He says, I'm actually in a relationship.
Now, Veronica is eavesdropping on all of this. She hears him say that, and her heart just swells. She thinks, he means me. He's talking about our email relationship. He considers us a couple already.
She is soaring. She is on cloud 9. She's thinking the rom-com reveal is going to be even better now. And then, ring, ring.
The phone rings.
It's like a jump scare in a horror movie. Jude pulls out his phone to answer it. And he says in this warm, affectionate, loving voice, hey, sweetheart.
And Veronica, from where she's standing, can see the screen of his phone. And she sees the name.
Calliope.
And just like that, the floor drops out from under her entire world.
Everything comes crashing down.
Veronica's brain does this frantic, horrible calculation. He told the neighbor he's in a relationship. He immediately answers the phone to someone named Calliope and calls her sweetheart.
The conclusion is obvious. Calliope is the girlfriend. Calliope is the relationship.
And the secondary, more painful conclusion is Jude is a liar. Jude is a cheater. Jude has been flirting with her, building this incredible intimacy via email, all while he has a sweetheart at home.
And this is where that deep-seated pitch-slap trauma comes back with a vengeance. Veronica doesn't pause to ask questions. She doesn't consider any other possibilities. She immediately triggers all of her defense mechanisms.
She thinks, I knew it. I knew he was too good to be true. All men in power are scumbags. He's just another bro using me for my ideas.
It's absolutely heartbreaking because we, the audience, know she's wrong. But her reaction is so understandable given her history. She is protecting herself from getting hurt again.
So she goes nuclear. She storms back up to her apartment. She opens her laptop. And she sends an email.
A very cold email.
She cancels the Valentine's date. She tells him she's overwhelmed with work. She says the connection took a nosedive. She just shuts him down completely, professionally, and personally.
And Jude is completely baffled. He is blindsided.
He is devastated.
He has no idea what happened. One minute they were picking out imaginary china patterns over email, and the next she's icing him out. He just spirals.
He goes into full breakup mode. He's watching basketball. He's eating sad DoorDash. He's miserable.
And Veronica is miserable, too. She's in her apartment, in her pajamas, eating chocolate ice cream directly from the pint, watching Pride and Prejudice.
The 2005 Keira Knightley version.
Obviously. The Handflex version is the only acceptable film for this kind of crisis.
The only cure for a broken heart. So they're both completely miserable, separated by just 2 floors of concrete and one massive misunderstanding. It seems like it's over before it even began.
But modern problems require modern solutions. Or in this case, a classic modern mistake.
The accidental social media stalk.
It happens to the best of us. Veronica's just wallowing. She's deep in her feelings. She decides to look Jude up on Instagram. She's scrolling through his pictures. She's looking at his face. And her thumb slips.
No.
She hits follow.
The panic, the cold sweat, we've all been there.
She tries to unfollow to cancel the request, but it's too late.
Jude gets the notification. Veronica Cochran started following you.
And he looks at the profile. He sees her picture. And he realizes.
He puts the pieces together. Veronica Cochran, the marketing genius from his emails, the VC from the Zoom call. She is the woman in 4C. She is his neighbor.
And this is the moment where Jude proves he is the hero we all deserve.
Oh.
He doesn't send a passive-aggressive DM. He doesn't email her a bunch of question marks.
No.
He gets up from his couch. He walks out of his apartment. He climbs the stairs to the 4th floor. And he knocks on her door.
He chooses the analog option.
He chooses presence. He chooses a real-life conversation.
And Veronica, oh, poor Veronica, she is not ready for a visitor.
She is in what the book calls her depression ensemble.
Plaid flannel pajamas.
Stained with chocolate ice cream.
Her hair is probably a disaster. She is peak goblin mode.
And she opens the door, and there he is. Friday. Jude. The man who she thinks broke her heart.
And she is so mortified by how she looks that she does something insane. She makes him put on a blindfold before she lets him into her messy apartment.
She hands him a scarf. Put this on.
It's so funny, but it's also so deeply vulnerable. She just can't bear for him to see her in her mess, in her reality.
But they talk. They finally talk face to face. And Jude just asks, what happened? What did I do? Why did you cancel on me?
And Veronica finally admits it. She says, I heard you on the phone with Calliope. You called her sweetheart.
And Jude just starts laughing.
He laughs, which is a risky move in that moment, but it's a laugh of pure relief. And then he explains.
Calliope is my niece.
She is 3 years old.
She wanted me to read her a bedtime story over FaceTime.
The relief. You can just feel the tension evaporating from the room. The big, dramatic betrayal was just a toddler.
A toddler named Calliope. And then he addresses the other part of it. He says, when I told our neighbor I was in a relationship, I was hoping I was talking about you.
Oh, my heart. That is so smooth.
He was manifesting. He was putting it out into the universe.
So the relationship was an aspirational statement about her.
Exactly. And then he takes the blindfold off, and he sees her. Ice cream stains and all, and the first thing he does is tell her she's beautiful.
This is the core theme of the whole book right here. He fell in love with her competence. He fell in love with her brain over email. So the fact that she looks like a mess in this moment doesn't matter at all. He already sees her.
It validates the entire premise. The digital connection built a foundation so strong that the messy physical reality couldn't shake it.
So they make up. And they decide to keep their Valentine's Day date.
They go to Cindy's rooftop.
Now, for anyone who isn't from Chicago, let's just clarify. Cindy's is a big deal. It overlooks Millennium Park. You can see the bean. It is gorgeous. And it is completely impossible to get a reservation on Valentine's Day.
Unless you know somebody.
Yeah.
And Jude called it a big favor. His sister, Haley, gave up her reservation for him.
Which is another green flag. He clearly has a great supportive relationship with his family.
A huge green flag. So they sit down for dinner,
Hmm.
and the chemistry is just electric. They're finally together. No screens, no misunderstandings, and they start talking about green flags.
Jude says his green flags are smart, funny women who love dogs.
Check, check, and check for Veronica.
And Veronica says she likes men who don't mock other people's fandoms and who enjoy taking naps.
A woman after my own heart. A nap is a love language.
They are perfect for each other. They are soulmates until the final conflict, the one hurdle.
The one thing that could actually tear them apart.
We have to talk about the university rivalry.
We absolutely do, because over their fancy dinner, they discover a horrific, almost irreconcilable incompatibility.
Veronica went to the University of Michigan. She is a Wolverine.
And Jude went to Ohio State. He is a Buckeye.
Now, if you are listening from outside the U.S., or if you just don't care about American college football, you might be thinking, so what? They went to different schools?
No, no, no. You have to understand. The Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is not a sport. It is a holy war.
It is the Hatfields and McCoys with goalposts. Families have stopped speaking to each other over this.
It is a deep, visceral hatred, and they are staring at each other across this romantic table, realizing they are sleeping with the enemy.
It's the funniest possible conflict to throw in at the very end, because
Right.
everything else is perfect. Their values align, their minds align, but this is a real hurdle.
They jokingly decide they can only stay together if they completely ignore the existence of football season from September to January.
Denial, a powerful tool in any successful relationship.
It is. But it leads to this moment of really rapid escalation. Jude makes a joke about picking out China patterns.
Which is moving very fast for a first real date.
It is, but it feels earned. Because they haven't just been on one date. They've been dating for weeks in their emails. They've been colleagues. They've been neighbors. They've already done the deep dive into each other's brains.
That's the slow burn payoff. When the physical chemistry finally catches up to the emotional and intellectual connection, everything just accelerates.
They talk about the idea of love at first sight, which neither of them believes in.
Right.
But they both agree they believe in love at first kiss.
And they haven't kissed yet at dinner, but the implication is there. When they do, it's going to be fireworks.
For sure.
So we've walked through the plot, but I want to zoom out a little and really analyze why this story works so well. Why does accidentally yours resonate so much?
I think it really comes back to that competence porn idea and the theme of being seen.
Say more about that.
Well, we live in a world where so many people feel invisible at work. They feel exactly like Veronica did at Pick Slapped. They're doing the work, they have the good ideas, but they feel like they're just shouting into the void.
Or they're being drowned out by buzzwords and bro culture.
The big juicy melons culture, exactly. And the fantasy of this story isn't just, I met a rich, hot CEO. That's not the core of it. The fantasy is the rich, hot CEO recognized that I was smart.
He validated her professional worth first. The romance came second.
Yes, he paid her what she was worth, he bought her the chair, he listened to her ideas and implemented them. That is the true romance in this story. Respect.
It's basically workplace rehabilitation. Veronica gets to heal from the trauma of her toxic job by being allowed to be excellent at her new one.
And having that excellence not just accepted, but celebrated.
And I think the Zoom mom itself is a fantasy we all secretly share. Who hasn't sat in a terrible meeting and just wanted to unmute and say, this makes no sense and is a waste of everyone's time?
It's so cathartic. Veronica does what we are all too polite or too afraid to do. And instead of being fired and blacklisted, she is rewarded for it. It's the ultimate professional wish fulfillment.
We should also probably touch on the heat level quickly, because we always get asked about that.
Yes. The anthology provides a little heat scale for each story, which is helpful, accidentally. Yours is rated as a sweet romance with witty banter. It's the lowest pepper rating on their scale.
Which means it's not explicit. It's not an open-door romance in that sense. The focus is elsewhere.
But I would argue it doesn't need to be. The tension is in the banter, The tension is in the will they, won't they of the mistaken identities. The real intimacy is intellectual. It fits the tone of this specific story perfectly.
It really proves you don't need graphic scenes to have sizzling chemistry. The chemistry is in the email subject lines.
The chemistry is in the physics dissertation about the flat Earth.
Exactly. So when you boil it all down, what is the final takeaway from Accidentally Yours?
I think it's a really comforting reminder that sometimes the accident, the wrong link, the broken chair, the misdelivered mail is the best thing that can possibly happen to you. It disrupts your pattern. It forces you out of your rut.
And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder to always ask for the chair.
Always ask for the chair.
Nah.
Know your worth.
Absolutely.
If they want your brain, they have to support your back.
I love that. If they want your brain, they have to support your back. That is the quote of this whole deep dive.
I'm putting that on a T-shirt right next to 4 buzzwords in a trench coat.
A whole line of merch.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on. We've talked a lot today about digital versus analog connection. Veronica and Jude fell in love, or at least the foundation of it, through text and email before they ever had a real sustained conversation. In our world, where so much dating happens on apps, where so much work and friendship happens on Zoom and Slack, is that the future of intimacy? Can you truly know someone's soul through a screen?
That is the big question, isn't it?
Does the screen mask who we really are by letting us edit and perform? Or does it actually strip away the superficial stuff, the looks, the clothes, the in-person awkwardness, and reveal the core of who we truly are?
It's a paradox.
Did they fall in love despite the screens, or was it because of them?
I think Accidentally Yours makes a pretty strong case that it might be because of them.
Something to mull over the next time you're in a Zoom meeting with your camera off. Thank you for diving deep with us today into the world of Christina Lauren.
It was a real pleasure.
We'll see you next time.